Hello everybody, this is Toomba again. All you ESO fans, I've got a stam Warden build for you. This is for PvP. The spec I'm on right now is built for damage. You have some survivability, but you're in 5 medium and 1 heavy, 1 light. You use rapids to get out of snares and give yourself speeds instead of using shuffle, because shuffle doesn't give you major speed. Major expedition. It's two-hander and sword and board, using 5-piece bone pirate for max stam and stam recovery, 2-piece earth core that will save your life, anyone else with you as well, because when your party gets negated, your earth core, your vigor will proc the earth core, and anyone that's under 50%, that'll save everyone's life. And 3-piece agility. You've got the asylum's maul for two-hander, and your sword and board is just craftable. Anything with 2-piece physical resist, preferably physical resist. That's best. That'll give you more survivability than anything else, because you don't need much spell resist. You've got crystallized shield to stop spell projectiles from hitting you. That'll give you ultimate back as well. So basically, here's the bar setup. Got Icy Fortress to give yourself resist buffs, vigor for heal on your sword and board bar, crystallized shield for defensive capabilities, and reverberating bash to defile and stun enemy targets. You've got trees for an ultimate with the healing thicket morph. That's your defensive ultimate. If you need that, it's cheaper. And on your two-hander bar, this is your offensive bar, this is what you kill with. You do pretty good damage in this build. You've got rally, which I haven't even fully leveled yet, but we're getting there. You got rally, subterranean assault, you gotta keep that up every 3 seconds. Stampede, or crit rush to charge your enemy. I like stampede, it's got a snare to it. And cutting dive as your spammable DPS to get the target low and finish them with reverse slice. So the combo is basically charging shocks, crit rushing in birds, or dawnbreaker, and reverse slice to finish the kill. Pretty simple. Doesn't get much easier than that. And I'll tell you why I'm not using Betty Netch or Bull Netch. It would be nice to use Bull Netch and get some extra stats back. And also to have spores, which I can spam to heal myself. But I can get rid of 2 skills and get the same effects. I can get a burst heal, and major brutality from using rally. The only thing I really lose is the stamina back from using the Betty Netch. But the difference is I'm wearing Bone Pirate, which enables me to have good stamina sustain. Good stam recovery anyways. I've got 21-17 in PvE worlds. My health is 18.9, so you're looking at like 23k. Max stam is nearly 40k, and max magic is 10k, which is good stuff. Look at me, I'm not even buffed up, and I've got 2700 weapon power buffed up. You're looking at 3200 low crit. Don't worry about crit so much. I think weapon damage is better than crit. You can rely on it. It's not a chance. But if you're looking for something tankier, I've got just the thing for you. This is another build. Used alpha gear there to switch stuff up. This build is built for raids when you have to be much tankier. You have to survive a whole lot more. The build here is again 2-piece earth core, but 5-piece heartland. Now, heartland reduces the damage you take from enemy players by 5%. It also reduces the AoE and siege damage you take by 20%. So that's calculate 25% damage reduction from AoEs. Those include Destros. Also, you're using Bone Pirate for this again. And with your Ice Fortress, that's another 8% damage reduction. And with Quick Cloak, that's another 20... Was it 20 or 25? 25% damage reduction from AoEs. So, fully buffed up, that's 50%. 50% damage reduction from AoEs, and some mitigation from single target damage as well. 13% from damage, or direct damage. It's extremely tanky. You can survive in someone's Destro, no problem. You have no problem surviving in someone's Destro. If your Sleet goes out, if you're using Sleet instead of Dawnbreaker, that's 80% mitigation from all AoEs. It's an extra 30% mitigation to all damage. So this build is extremely tanky. You'll survive a whole lot better, and you'll still do good damage because you're in 5 medium. So I got 1 heavy there and 1 light here, so I'm in 5 medium and 1 heavy, 1 light. Let's see. Should probably transmute those weapons to do something different. Haven't gotten to that yet. And I would use poisons as well. Probably go with Magicka and Stamina cost increases, at least on my sword and board bar, but probably on my dual wield as well, because you need to wear enemies down. Though you could do something like this, drain health, where you just steal health essentially from your enemies when it procs. I like that poison a lot. My offensive bar. Food you're going to be using is Dubious Camoran Throne. And the potions you're going to be using primarily are Major Savagery, Immovability, and Stamina. That's your go-to. I also like to carry some speed ones and some health ones as well. I use a variety of them as well. And I've got Essence of Weapon Crit in case I need to just get damage and not pop as an expensive a potion as an immovability. So for skills on this setup with a sword and board and dual wield, on my defensive bar I have Spores to heal, Ice Fortress for defense buff, Shielded Assault as my gap closer, Retreating Maneuver, Rapids for immunity to snares and speeds for the group, and the Bull Netch to give myself a little bit of stats and Major Brutality. On the back bar I've got Resolving Vigor, Quick Cloak, which also gives me speeds, just me, and damage mitigation from AoEs, as well as a tiny bit of damage. Don't count on that damage killing anybody. And on my offensive bar I like to have Shimmering Shield, because it allows me to stay on my offensive bar without switching to my defensive bar, so I can keep pressure up while mitigating damage with this Shimmering Shield. Plus, this morph is beautiful because it gives me ultimate back. Gets your ult up rather quickly, you'll notice. Using that. Your spammable is Cutting Dive. People cannot avoid this by dodge rolling, so that's why I use this. And on the build I showed you just a second ago with the two-hander, I use Cutting Dive instead of Dizzying Swing, because one, it's the only ranged ability the build has, as well as it's unmitigatable, and I can cast 2 of them in the time it takes someone to cast a Dizzying Swing. And if I'm trying to Dizzying Swing somebody, they're probably going to see it coming and block, dodge roll, avoid it. You're going to have a hard time getting it in. If you do connect, then yeah, you win, but in the same time I could have cast 2 of these Cutting Dives, done more damage, and of course I've got Subterranean Assault on the build as well. So this build also does good damage, but it has extremely high mitigation. I highly suggest this one for raids. It's much better for group play than the other build. But if you're small man or solo, you probably want to go with the two-hander and sword and board that I showed you earlier, because this just got better damage. Basically, that's the build. You may not know Subterranean Assault and Cutting Dive And pretty much everything in your arsenal here is direct damage. I know it takes time for that subterranean assault to come out, but it counts as direct damage. That's direct damage. So when you're doing your champion points for this, you don't want to put any points into direct damage here. Or sorry, you don't want to put any points into thaumaturge here, because you're not doing damage over time. Put some points in crit, of course. Spread your points out. It helps with your damage if you just spread them out instead of putting them all in the same place. You get less out of your champion points the more you put into a single thing. And I like to put some shattering blows because there's so many shielders out there. But most of my points are in Master at Arms, you can see. It increases the damage of my shocks, my birds, pretty much everything. So basically that's the build. You should understand how to do champ points, I think. If you need help, message me. I'm at Tumbah, Tumbah, and I hope you enjoy the build.